All right. Good morning, Monday morning to everyone here at High Level. This community is rocking. I hope you had a great weekend. We have a 2-day workshop in the works. If you have not had a chance to see the notifications for it, we might be just popping in your algorithm right now in all the channels. So we're live right now on Facebook, I believe Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, of course, and our groups as well, our private Facebook groups, and we are in the early stages of getting started. So if you can hear us and you see us, tell us what city and state you're checking in from. We've got a lot to share with you today. And in case if you do know Tom Gaddis, Cameron, and Nick Ponte, their whole team, these guys were at the Dallas SaaSpreneur event not a few months ago, I believe. And what I want to do is just make sure you're excited for it. We've got a lot to cover. We're going to talk about some snapshots. Ultimately, we're going to teach you a much better, efficient way to prospect and land clients at the end of the day using directories. So without any further ado, let me check the Facebook page here. I see a few of you hopping in. I'm going to see who's on live right now. Let's see here. Let me see your comments. I see 5, 6 people jumping in. Let's see here. All right. Awesome. All right. Just for all the formalities, I am going to walk through a couple of bios here. So, Tom, he was a former restaurant manager in Oklahoma, moved out to Hawaii, fell in love with it, and ended up meeting, I believe, Nick there, if I'm not mistaken. And I'll let them kind of share their story. And these guys are super smart when it comes to high level. They're SaaSpreneur Gold Award winners. They've came to a couple of events already. And Cameron also is part of the crew. And Cameron, from what I understand, you're kind of the operations guy, but why don't I do this, Tom? If you don't mind, introduce the team and tell us kind of the roles and expectations y'all have and how you guys got started as people are just kind of trickling in.
Yeah, awesome. Well, hey, Paulson, thanks for having us, by the way. Excited
Of
to
course.
really be here. And it's super early for Nick. You know, he's in Maui right now.
Oh
So it's
man.
about, what is it, like 6 in the morning there, Nick?
Yeah, it's 6. Having my 1.5 cup of coffee with you guys right now.
Yeah, this is the grind of the entrepreneurs, right? So awesome. Well, my name's Tom Gaddis. I'm one of the co-founders of Offline Sharks and Smart Directory AI. That's my business partner there, Nick Ponte. Cameron is our operations rock star. So he operates all behind the scenes, making Nick and I look good, which we really appreciate. And yeah, so Nick and I actually met in Maui. So like you said, I was a restaurant manager. And in 2010, I relocated my family to Maui. And I was working at the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company on Front Street. And 8 months after I got there, I got fired. And I was like, oh, now what? And I didn't want to get a real job. So I thought, well, I'll give this agency marketing thing a shot. And, I tried a bunch of stuff. Nothing really worked. I finally struck some gold with some direct mail things and started getting some clients. And along the way, Maui's a very tight knit community. And somebody was like, hey, there's this other guy over here. He's getting an agency going too. And why don't we introduce you guys? And so Nick and I met. And actually, the way we originally met was I was trying to rope Nick into doing fulfillment for me because Nick is very much we're very different.
The
I'm
yin and the yang.
Yeah, I'm very much an outgoing, like, shake hands, kiss babies, let's get some clients, let's do the thing. And Nick is very process oriented, systems, getting everything running smoothly, all that kind of stuff. And over the years we've kind of learned from each other and built out and grown. But yeah, so we partnered up in 2016, and then we started a little company to help others. We were getting clients and having success, so we started helping others do the same thing. And it's interesting because when we started that whole journey, I don't even think we were almost doing 6 figures in our agency. And since 2016, the agency has grown to, last year we did 1.6 million. This past year, 2025, we really went all in with HighLevel and AI services and things like that. And so, yeah, so here we are. So I see actually one of our Megalodon sharks, Dorn Brenton, in the house, and Gloria, welcome. Michael, I see lots of familiar faces in the chat, so this is awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, comment away. And the reason why I asked for that is because it helps the algorithm, especially if you're streaming, to kind of notify everybody in your ecosystem that you're actually live. So it actually helps us, get, get in front of as many people as we possibly can, especially when we're providing a free workshop, 2-day workshop, and we're going to go through a ton of cool stuff. So Nick, tell us your story, and Cameron as well, if you don't mind taking like 1 or 2 minutes and just kind of sharing your story so everyone understands who's who in the party here.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, like Tom said, we started working together here on Maui to take action and get clients. And I was a mechanic back in the day. It's over a decade ago now. My first client was my boss at the time was frustrated with his website, and I offered to help him with that. And I have no idea why I offered because I had no experience building websites, but I'm really glad that I did because that really, planted a seed for what was to come and, where I'm at right now. And so, yeah, Tom and I, we spent a lot of time driving around getting clients, um, you know, giving people proposals that never got answered, got a lot of no's together, but we also got a lot of yeses together too. And I would just add that on top of what Tom said there, that, when we were back then, when we were starting out, we would get a lot of information from people online. And a lot of the information online that we found, we'd get super frustrated with because like we'd spend so much time going down these different rabbit holes, trying things that people said worked, but they really didn't work. And it was super frustrating because I don't know, a lot of the stuff online just doesn't really it 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 was never meant to work anyway. It's like people create stuff just to make money. And so we were like, hey, why don't we just share what is actually working for us? So what's actually working right now, and maybe that'll be the difference. And that's kind of where our community started out. And we've really just been doing that every day since for the last 10 years. And so, like Tom said, our agency was recognized as the second fastest growing company in Hawaii last year, not because we have the biggest numbers, but because we've had so much growth so quickly. And we're excited to talk about some of that strategy that has attributed to that growth, because it wasn't really until AI came around and we started adopting some of these AI features and tactics. And obviously we really started using HighLevel in a big way to grow, that we were able to do that. So that's kind of where we're at now. And we're still just doing that till this day. So with that, I'll pass it to you, Cameron.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and I actually know Tom from a previous life when he lived here in Michigan for a few years, and we were friends. And then he moved to Hawaii and got into the marketing space. And after a couple of years, I caught up with him, and he told me about some of the success that he was having and shared a few things with me and kind of got me started on my path. And then a few years later, we reconnected again, and Tom and Nick were looking for somebody to come in and sort of help them with some of the big growth that they were going through. So that's what I did about 5 or 6 years ago now. So it's been a wild ride. And as they've talked about, it's been a lot of growth, but fun to manage and really help a lot of people. So
I love it. And I got the chance to spend, I think 2 or 3 days with Tom in Dallas at our Sasspreneur Live event. And he was one of the guys that I had selected for the Fast Five, if I'm not mistaken, where we grabbed somebody from the audience who's an expert that we're noticing and ask him to jump on stage and share what that is for 5 minutes. And I remember telling Tom, hey, eventually at some point, we need to do a master class or a workshop of some kind, because I think what you're bringing to the table is very valuable. And here we are, a couple of months later, we've got it all set up. And so if you're watching this for the first time, maybe you're new to HighLevel, we do education for free across the board. We have, 7-day marathons, 5-day challenges, 2-day workshops, 3-day workshops, master classes, podcasts, whatever it is that you need in whatever format. It's available to you. So as we're getting ready to start today's 2-day workshop, here's what I'm going to do when it comes to the agenda. We're going to kind of just go through, review the agenda for day 1 and 2, and Tom will start sharing his slides and we'll go right into it. We're almost at the 10-minute mark for the intro here. So today, we're going to talk about the new normal of prospecting. Why traditional prospecting is hard, it doesn't work for most high levelers, why we abandoned everything you're doing right now, and we call also the honeypot system explained, and we're going to go over that whole entire directory mechanics. And there's a snapshot available to you that we're going to make it available if you are jumping into the high level trial as part of this workshop. And tomorrow we'll talk about how to monetize and scale the whole thing with high level and AI in mind, monetizing features for quick wins, automating your prospecting with high level as well, and also adding on that AI component. So, Tom, without any further ado, why don't we go ahead and get started? If you want to share your screen, let's go right into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me pull up my screen here. I want this one. Yeah. Okay. Make sure we got the right one there. Awesome. So everybody, can you guys see my slide there? The local business authority system, how to build a high trust directory that attracts and converts local business into leads. Let me know. Hey, Sherry, good to see you. Michael, Anita. Hey, Columbus, Ohio in the house. Welcome. Yeah, let me know that this is very much an interactive workshop. So the more you guys engage with me in the chat, the more I can kind of customize and personalize this for you and to your specific situations. And by the way, if you see that thing like directory and you think, oh my gosh, this sounds complicated. One of the things I will say to you right up front is Nick and I have kind of turned the whole directory model on its head, meaning like a lot of people, when they think of a directory site, they think of like, oh, the site is the thing. It's like the business. But for us, the directory is really just a tool to do the most important thing, something we call an RPA, the most important revenue producing activity for someone trying to start an online business. And that is actually getting somebody to pay you, right? Like, so our whole goal with this is not really to be in the directory site business. It's to be in the getting people to pay us business. So I'm going to go through that, show you how to do that, show you how you can position yourselves with all this as well. So it's going to be awesome. What's up, Majida, Adam, Gloria? Awesome. Fantastic. Okay, look, just a quick little house cleaning thing, just so everybody knows. Results may vary, right? Like I know, when you see these webinars and stuff, we've done a lot of stuff. Like Nick said, we have the second fastest growing company. We've got a lot of testimonials and things we're going to share from people that we've helped, but like we work hard, right? This is not like a get rich overnight type thing or anything like that. We work very hard in our business. And I hope when you go to implement the things we share today, you're going to realize it's going to take some effort as well. All right. Okay. So here's our day-by-day agenda. So today we're going to talk about the new normal of prospecting. We're going to talk about why cold outreach and outdated funnels don't work for most high-level users. Actually, let me ask you guys a question that are here in the chat, all of you that are in the chat. How are you currently getting people to sign up for your high-level services? Are you cold calling? Are you cold emailing? What has your experience been with that kind of stuff? I'm really curious to know. Nick, maybe you and Cameron can keep an eye on the chat and pull out some good comments from that while I go through the rest of these. But let me know, what is your experience with getting clients? How's it going for you? We're going to talk about the real reason that we ditched everything that most people are doing right now. So if you're doing any of those things, cold calling, cold email, networking, all of that stuff, we've tried all of that stuff. We've tried it all, but we've ditched all that for what we're going to talk about today just because of the results that we get. I'm going to unpack our honeypot prospecting system. This is how we attract leads without chasing them. More importantly, how we get attention, right? We're going to talk a lot about that. And then I'm going to do a quick demo. I'm going to show you our directory site. I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to show you some behind the scenes and kind of highlight, if you want to implement this for yourself, what you should be looking for, what you want to do in the tech realm of things. So that's all going to be today. Then tomorrow, I'm going to show you how we monetize this whole thing, how we get fast wins. I'm going to show you a little kind of a deeper delve into what we're doing with our directory site. I'm going to show you how we automate the entire prospecting system using high-level workflows. And I'm going to show you how to package this all up so you can sell high demand AI subscription services or marketing services with confidence. Because let's face it, a directory site probably is not going to make you rich, but you can do very, very well selling AI subscription services and marketing services on the back end. And fortunately for all of us, HighLevel makes the delivery of all of that stuff so easy that's kind of the road we took with this. So that's what we're going to be covering today. Nick, anything you want to add to that before I move on?
If you don't mind, Tom, can we get a temperature check of where everyone is when it comes to clients? I see a few people who are saying, "Hey, I'm just starting out, 0 clients. I've been, using this thing for a while." Like, so if you don't mind, in the comments, there's no, don't feel bad if you feel like you don't have enough clients. Like, one thing I'll tell you about the High Level family is that we're a collaborative bunch. We're excited for the brand new person that's starting out. We don't really care about all the Lambos and all the fancy stuff, even though a lot of us have those nice things. That's not the focus. Our focus is to help you launch, because most people are, they just made that jump off the cliff and they're trying to make an airplane on the way down. Maybe just, still have their corporate job and they're jumping into this new side hustle out of their garage. So it's a very stressful kind of a moment and journey in life for most people. So tell us where you are, tell us, do you have 1 client? Do you have 10 clients? Do you have 100 clients? Kind of, if you don't mind putting in the comments where you are, I think that'll give us a good ballpark of how to talk to you as we do this 2-day workshop. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I see let's see. Kelsey says 3 recurring clients. Adam crushing it, 80 to 90. That's awesome, man. I see 0 clients for Manuel. 0 clients, Elijah. Hey, Elijah, good to see you here, man. Helena just starting, 5 clients, Jake. Diane, just 0 clients. Yeah, look, hey, if you're in that position of somewhere between none to 10 clients, right? Like, don't feel bad. Everybody's been there, right? We all start with 0 and move up from there. And I saw somebody ask if we're going to make an offer. Nope. We are here to support HighLevel and just deliver value and share with you what we're doing, show you what we're doing, and hopefully you will take action on it, implement it, and start getting some results. So no, in fact, we're actually going to give you something for free. We've got a special snapshot that we put together where you can use it to start implementing some of the things we're going to talk about today. And that's just a gift from HighLevel and us to you. So awesome. I see lots of 5 and growing. Fantastic. You guys are going to love what we're going to share today. So I think we kind of got a good temperature check there, right?
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. And yeah. So, all right. Awesome. Well, let's dive in. So I'm going to get here. Anybody on this call just feel stuck? Like, maybe some of you that are putting in, you have 0 clients, maybe you've only got 1 or 2. What do you feel like you're going in the right direction? Do you feel stuck? I mean, there's lots of different paths to take, right? Like, how do you know which is the right one, especially with AI, right? AI is all the buzz right now. We're going to talk a little bit about that. So let me know. Let me look in the chat here. So yes, and each guy, blah, blah, blah. So Tony Edwards, super. Yes, your snapshot. Okay, awesome. All right. So look, if you're feeling stuck, you're in the right place, right? What I'm going to cover today is going to give you a clear path, clear guidance on where to go with HighLevel, how to get the most out of HighLevel, and how to sell the most high-level services to the businesses that you reach out to. And if you're feeling stuck, if you're like, man, I feel like I'm never going to get my first client. Look, everybody feels that way. I remember it felt like it took me forever to get that first paying client. But I'm going to show you a process and a system today that makes that whole thing much, much easier. And if you're coming into today's training and maybe you just had a flat out crappy year last year, I know 2024 was rough for a lot of business owners out there. We're going to show you how to flip that script, how to turn it around, and how to start getting traction and torpedo kick the obstacles and get going with your high-level business. So are you guys ready to get started? If you are, put a yes in the comments, and I will start getting this party going. Let me take a little drink here. And
I don't think I've seen Chuck Norris in a while. I've heard he's a great directory guy.
Yeah. Well, Chuck Norris actually has a list of directories. They don't list him. He lists them. So that's just the way it goes. Look at all those yeses coming in. Jake and
Chuck Norris
Justin and
was a
Colin.
co-founder in Yelp, the original directory.
What was
He
that?
he also started Yellow Pages.
There you go. Yep. There you go. Man, look at all those. Yes. Lots of yeses coming in. Okay. All right. We're going to get started. So who are we? I know we went a little bit into this. I'll just do a quick little brief recap. You can see at the top there, that's the article that was published in Hawaii, highlighting our agency, Mania Marketing, as the second fastest growing business in Hawaii. That's me and Nick there on the bottom. You can see this is a profit and loss statement from last year, 2024. You can see the agency did $1.6 million, just a little over that. That, by the way, is strictly agency revenue. That has nothing to do with what we do at our other business, Offline Sharks, where we teach people, help people, all those things. All of that revenue that you see there was generated from working with small businesses in Hawaii, some outside of Hawaii, selling them high-level subscription services and, pardon me, my throat there, and also other marketing services, which we'll talk about here in just a minute. Now, I share all that not really to just toot our own horns, right? But to show you that what I'm going to be covering today comes from our boots on the ground experience of growing the agency to this level. And we have over 2,300 documented success stories from people that have followed our suggestions, our strategies, our systems, our processes, and had success. However, before I dive into this, there is an elephant in the room that we need to discuss first. And that is what I like to call AI mania, right? I mean, everybody out there is talking about how great AI is, right? You guys have probably experienced this, right, Paulson? I mean, it's it's an AI boom right now, right? And AI software is great. You know, we could not run our business without the use of HighLevel and the AI services that are inside it. But everyone knows that software alone is not the answer. And I think I can prove it real quick. So real quick, in the comments, let me know who here is using some kind of AI software. Let me know in the chat. Dorn says Skynet. That's right. Who's using some AI software? My next question to you is going to be, are you rich yet? Right? Probably not, right? Because AI is a tool. So yes, the opportunity right now with AI is super duper big, but the elephant in the room that no one is talking about is how hard it is actually to get attention and get clients. See, software is awesome for doing the thing, right? Like you can use AI to create content, to make all kinds of things, right? Everybody seen the new, what is the name of it, Nick? Is it Vivio?
VO3.
Yeah, VO,
yeah, right? Like that, I mean, all that stuff is awesome, but that software just does the thing. It does not get you the people that ultimately pay you, okay? A voice agent, another great example, right? An AI voice agent, yeah, people call in, they can interact with it and all that stuff, but how do you get people to pay you for that service, right? And this on my screen here are just a few little things I pulled out of some online marketing groups of people struggling to get clients, right? Like they've got all the tools, they've got the knowledge, but they can't just get over that hump and get those first clients. And if you can't get clients, you cannot make any money, right? I know that seems obvious, but these screenshots show that it's not quite as easy as a lot of the AI gurus make it out to be. And it's extremely hard to get clients for AI services because in the real world, AI is a big opportunity, but with that big opportunity is big competition. And I'm here to tell you, it is only going to get worse, okay? This is going to lead most people right into what I call the AI graveyard. See, all successful people know if you can't get attention, you can't get clients, and you're done before you even start, right? The reality of that is because what most of the AI gurus teach is traditional prospecting methods like cold calling, social media, paid ads, and networking. Now, look, to be fair, there was a day when these methods crushed it, okay? But times have changed. Since most of the AI gurus out there haven't had to actually get a client in years, they have no idea how difficult it is for you and me out there, for us that are actually out there doing this AI game. See, we tried all of that traditional prospecting stuff when we started, and we didn't make squat. I'm gonna get a little personal here. These two images, they're a little sometimes embarrassing to show, but I want to do this just so you can see what I'm talking about. That top image there
Oh boy.
is a letter that Nick had to send to the IRS because he could not afford to make $100 payment. And that screenshot
Oh man.
below, that is my tax return. And you'll see it says 49,000 in income. Only 4,806 of that came from me. The rest was from, so 41,000 from my wife, 4,800 from me, and it wasn't even from getting clients. I was collecting unemployment. That was right after I got fired from the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. So Nick and I were trying to get our agency off the ground. We were doing all of these traditional things, but we were making no money. Is anybody else here experiencing that? Or maybe you have a few clients, but you're just not able to get in that consistent rhythm of bringing in consistent new business month after month, week after week, day after day. Let me
Can I
know.
say something real quick, Tom, while people chime in? As embarrassing as it is to, look at that and see it, it's important to recognize that, looking back at that now, hindsight being 2020, that was where things really changed for us, that moment in time. And, if anybody is on this call feeling that way, this is really where we see people, most people have success, where they really first get traction for the first time. And it's because they really need it. They really want it. And it can feel like you're just gasping for air, you're underwater. But, more often than not, the people in our community that really like rise up and do really well, they're those people that really need to make this work. So, if you're on this call and you're thinking like, man, I'm frustrated, I don't know what I'm going to do, like this could be your moment to really actually make things work. And it was for, both Tom and myself, back against the wall. That's where we see most people actually really start to make things happen. It's when you're comfortable and you don't really need to make it work, you don't really have to, do very much. You don't have to get out of your comfort zone. And so when you need to get out of your comfort zone and you realize that it's not that uncomfortable, you just got to get out of the zone, that you really start to make a change. And that's what you really need right now is a change, and obviously for people that have some success and you're on this call too, maybe you're looking for that next jump to go to, I don't know, maybe you're already making 6 figures and you're trying to get to $500,000 a year or whatever. Again, it's the same thing. You need to get out of your comfort zone and make a change. And so for us, when we made that jump, it was really just a matter of having a consistent way to bring in people that know us, like us, and trust us. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So, whether you're new or you're already pretty experienced, today's going to be a great call for you.
Yeah, absolutely. As Paulson said earlier, building the plane on the way down, right? That's kind of what we were experiencing at that time. And Nick and I knew there had to be a better way, right? There had to be a way that was sustainable, something that would work long term. So we kind of decided to do something that we felt like was pretty drastic at the time. And that was we decided to just stop competing with other agencies. So we actually stopped prospecting as a marketing agency. And instead, we created what we call a Honeypot Site. And we use this site to open conversations with our ideal clients, which were small businesses in Hawaii, right? And to our surprise, we immediately jumped to a respectable $50,000 in revenue at the agency. But what was more amazing was this one change in approach doubled our revenue the next year. So the next year we did over 6 figures, and we were finally able to remove ourselves from the day-to-day of prospecting. Anybody on this call, I know some of you out there, 80, 90 clients, 10 clients, 12 clients. Are you stuck in the grind of daily prospecting and like just trying to keep it all together? Yeah. Well, when we were able to remove ourselves from that day to day, it allowed us to grow really rapidly. And here's the real reason traditional prospecting doesn't work anymore. And that is just getting attention is hard, right? How many of you have sent out cold messages, cold calling, or email, right? What type of results did you get in the chat? Like, I know people in our community who send thousands of messages, and not only do people not get a response, but people don't even open their messages, right? Getting attention is super duper hard, right? Most people never even open them, let alone respond. They just get tuned out. So the secret everyone knows is you have to stand out from all those other people selling high-level and AI services. And this Honeypot site is exactly how we did it. So let me show you what that looks like. So according to Webster's Dictionary Online, a honeypot is a place to which many people are attracted. That's why we picked that name. So you might know it as a directory site, but we use it in a much different way than most traditional directory site users. So this is our honeypot site. It's called HawaiiThrive.com. And today I'm going to show you how you can use a site like this to remove yourself from the prospecting, automate your prospecting, and get a yes from practically every business you reach out to. So I do want to point out some of the features of the site that we use to do this. Okay, so I am going to unshare my screen here, and I'm going to share a different tab so you guys can actually get a live look.
Yeah. So
at
as you're pulling that up, Tom, let me just provide context to the folks that might be brand new to the agency world. You see, like I had my agency from like 2015 all the way to 2019. And what Tom means by traditional marketing, we're talking about cold calling, door knocking, cold emailing at mass scale. Like we're talking about sending 10,000 emails a day and getting 3 replies. And we do that at scale every single day, right? These are the type of world that the late 2000s of agencies like myself did to get clients. And as you get clients, you have to keep those clients. So it becomes really difficult where an agency business essentially becomes a sales business. You have to keep in order for you to keep the door open and the lights on, you would have to go get more clients because we knew clients would turn out, right? Like it would just marketing is just an expense that everybody cut when things got tight across small businesses. So what sounds like what's happening here is a neutral ground that a prospect can look at instead of looking at your agency. So Hawaii Thrive Initiative, my gut tells me, is a local resource that's provided to the community. So it's not like that's the face of the agency, but it's more of like a place that everybody can come to. Is that right, Tom?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like, we've had different names to explain it over the years, like a backdoor approach. I was explaining this to my father-in-law who's in town for my oldest daughter's high school graduation. And he said, oh, it's kind of like a sneak attack. And I was like, oh, yes, that is it. Like, that's a great word for it. It's like a sneak attack. Because imagine you're a small business owner in a local area and you're getting hit up every single day by people saying they're from Google and you're not showing up on page 1 and let me help you with this. And like all of those messages get tuned out. But then along comes someone who's like, hey, I'm a fellow small business owner here in your area, and I've set up this resource to help other small business owners just like us get more traction in the area. Take a look at it. Check it out. You have a free listing on our site, right? It's already there. There's nothing to buy. It's just an easy way to start a conversation. And, you know, when somebody comes to this site, it looks good, right? It looks modern, it looks professional. It's got, you know, it's all branded to the area. I saw somebody asking earlier, like, well, if we're going to start a site like this, how do we focus this? Do we focus local, national? What do we do? Look, our recommendation is always start in your own backyard, right? You don't, a big mistake I see a lot of people make with this type of setup is they just try to go big, right? Like they see the money signs. They're like, oh, if I set up a directory and I'm going to do it national and the money's just going to roll in. Well, here's the problem with going that big. You need a very big team to run that type of operation. Like that is not a solo type operation. So we like to take the approach of like what Facebook did, where, you know, remember in the beginning, their entire, like if they signed up every single person in their initial market, it would have been what, 3,000 people, because they were just targeting students at Harvard, right? Which, by the way, is where Mark went. He started in his own backyard. And then when they decided to grow, they didn't just open it up to the world. They opened it up to other Ivy League colleges. And then they opened it up to all colleges. And then it went out from there. So, you know, having this local directory is super, super effective. And yes, Sylvia, you can target a niche as well. So we have two approaches to this. One is, so everything is a niche, right? Hawaii is our niche. So this site that you're looking at is geo-targeted to Hawaii. We branded it to the entire Hawaiian Islands. But, you know, to be upfront, when we originally started prospecting, we only prospect on Maui, which is where we lived and breathed and who we interacted with. So, but you can also build a site around a niche. Maybe we have a few people in our community that have sites built around the cannabis niche that are crushing it. One person in the real estate niche. We have somebody in the medical niche. I just saw somebody the other day that was doing a site around golf courses. So yes, you can do it. And yeah, I'm going to show you the back end of this. This site is actually built inside HighLevel, which if you guys are out there and you've been thinking about doing this in HighLevel, you're going to be like, what? How did you do a directory site in HighLevel? Well, we actually built this thing ourselves because we wanted to run this all right out of HighLevel, right? So let me go over just a couple of the features of the front end, and then I'll show you the back end, and we'll kind of get into how we use this and how it connects with HighLevel and all that stuff. So there are a couple things here on the main front page. So we have an interactive search bar. So like if I start to type in pizza, you'll see it's dynamic. It starts to pull up all the pizza places. Pizza Madness, this is one of my favorite ones. I can just go click right here and go right to this business, okay? We have the ability to do multiple types of listings. So we have free listings and we have premium listings. And this is integrated with a payment system. So all the payments and everything can be handled directly from here. We've got this all sectioned off by the Hawaiian Islands. So you'll see this is Oahu, here's Maui, here's the Big Island, here's Kauai. And when you go on any one of these and you click, it pulls up a page with just those restaurants on it so people can go and search here. These you see here with this little black and white building, these are free listings. Premium listings that people pay for, they're able to add photos and build them out a little more. So actually, let me show you that real quick. So here's a free listing, right? Very basic. It's got phone number, it's got address. That's really about it, right? Very, very basic. But when someone upgrades to a premium listing, we're able to build this out a lot more. We've got cover images, additional images. We can integrate their social media, add their website. People now, they have the ability to come and claim this business if they're the owner, right? And Gloria, I'm going to talk about all of that stuff in just a minute. We've got optimized business description, their business hours, right? Here's a Google map. Here's their business hours. We can also pull in reviews directly from Google. We also have blogs, news articles they can post, jobs, and events as well. So lots of additional features here, right, that they can add when they do a premium listing. And we've got this great ability to set up multiple plans. So you can see we can charge monthly, we can charge annually. This is really kind of what we go for, but we're able to set multiple plans, free, different tiered pricing and things like that. And I'll dive into this a little more detail tomorrow when we're talking about monetizing and how we sell these and all this stuff as well. And yeah, and you can add custom pages to the site as well, right? Custom pages. So this is what the front end looks like. And of course, people can create an accounts. Consumers can create accounts on the front end. They can add their business. Once they register an account, if they're the owner of a business, they can claim it. Here's what's really nice about this. This is my profile, but you can see if I go and claim a business, they show up here in my profile. So I can see what businesses I own. And then if I want to upgrade them to premium, I've got this nice upgrade button here that they can just click and it'll take them right to the pricing page of your paid plan so they can upgrade directly from their profile. And if I were a business owner and I had requested to claim a listing, my claim request would show up here. You have the ability to follow businesses as a consumer, and then there's jobs and events activity as well. So lots of great features on the front end that provide value to the people coming to the site and seeing the site. Now, here's what I think is the real game changer of all of this. In the what I like to call the traditional directory game, here's what happens to most people. A directory site, that sounds like an awesome idea. I'm going to get one going. You're fired up, and then you go to build the directory site, and it's like running into a brick wall at 65 miles an hour because they're expensive. They're complicated. Like now all of a sudden you find yourself mired in just daily, like just working on putting this directory together, and it kills all your momentum. That is what we experienced. And we were like, man, if we could just have this thing, like if we could just have something that we could set up quickly, like literally that we could get set up in a day or two and start using it to prospect, that would be a real game changer. And then we could build it out as we go. So we just decided to build this thing in HighLevel. So I am inside my HighLevel account here. I'm going to go to the dashboard. You're going to see that I've got this other little tab here called Smart Directory AI. So we actually just built a HighLevel app that allows you to put a directory site right into HighLevel. And we have a dashboard where we can manage the entire thing. You can see it shows kind of an overview of what's going on in our directory with business requests and things like that. This tab at the top is businesses. So these are all our accounts. I can look at my premium accounts. I can look at my free accounts. By the way, super easy to make something premium. All I have to do is just toggle this little switch on. And when I do that, it'll say, oh, well, what paid plan do you want to associate them with? And then I can associate them with the plan. And now when I click save, that business will be a premium listing. They'll no longer be free, and I can go in and work that out, right? Oh, I'm on a different tab. Hold on one second. I forgot I'm sharing by the tabs. I clicked onto a new tab, and here, let me show you guys this. There we go. Now you guys can see that, right? So down here,
run that back a little bit, Tom. Just so
yeah, I'm going to. I got you here. So you see down in the left corner, Smart Directory AI. So this is our HighLevel app, right? So you just click on that. This is our dashboard to control the directory itself. So we have a way to easily track and see what's going on and manage, right? Some of these tabs at the top, I'm just going to kind of run through these. We've got our settings tab. So this allows you to set up your directory profile. You can integrate payments. You can integrate the Google API. There's mapping. I'm not going to go into a lot of this today. There's also review settings. We're going to cover a little more of this stuff tomorrow. This is the plans tab. This is where I can create any type of paid plan I want. So I just click add plan. I can give it a name. I can go through here. I'm just going to make this a test plan. And you guys will see like, oh, when I have different currencies I can pick wherever I want it to be priced in. I can set a monthly price. And then these are all the features that can be turned on or off to a listing. And so whatever I want in the plan, I just go through and toggle that on. And those are the only things that will be available to the person inside this plan. Okay, so again, we try to keep this very, very super simple and straightforward because we do not want to be in the directory site business, right? We do not want to be spending all of our hours during a day building a directory site. We want to get this thing up. We want to get it looking good so that we can do the most important thing, which is use it to get clients. And I'm going to walk you guys through that process here in a minute as well. Here's branding. So currently we've got one theme here, right? Like it's really easy to edit any of this stuff, colors, links, footers, all that kind of stuff right in here. This is our consumers tab. So this is when somebody registers an account on your directory. Here's our businesses tab. Again, we have the ability to tag, to monitor our requests. You as the admin of the site get to approve or disapprove them. Here's our free accounts. I mentioned earlier, to make a site premium super easy, you just toggle this little button on, and then you select the plan you want to give them, and you just click save, and now they're a premium account. These are a list of our premium accounts, so we can check them out and edit them. You'll see when we go in to edit a business, it pulls up all of the business's information, and we can add images, we can do links, all of this. Again, all of this very, very easy to do. We had to keep this super simple because, again, this is a prospecting tool. We're not doing this to try to make a bunch of money with the directory. And of course, back to our dashboard. So that's kind of just a little overview of the app we're using in the back end and all that stuff. And then we'll kind of get in and go through exactly how we're using this, what we're doing on the front end to bring in the client. So let me stop sharing. Nick, anything you want to add to that while I'm getting my other screen going? Any questions you see?
Yeah. There's thanks for demoing that, Tom. So I know a lot of people are asking questions. A lot of people are already they're their gears are turning and they're getting excited about it, which is awesome. And I know Tom's going to talk a lot about getting clients and how we use this. And so I'm not going to let too much, not let the cat out of the bag, but I will just kind of share a little bit of, some people might be saying, and I think I did see somebody say, how do we drive traffic? Which is a great question, right? So let's think about this for a second. Everybody here, we all want to get clients, whether you want, agency clients or you want SaaS clients, you want customers, subscription paying customers. At the end of the day, that's what they are, whether they're clients or customers. We want monthly recurring revenue. That's our total end goal, right? Type in recurring revenue in the chat if that is your end goal, because that was for Tom and I, that was the main thing that we needed to get going right away. And so when it comes to finding people to pay you subscriptions, the difficult task that you are facing is, well, who are we going to be able to sell these things to? And so when you look at this website, the first thing that comes to your mind is like, okay, well, how are we going to get people there? How are we going to generate this massive amount of traffic? I'm not a YouTube influencer. I don't have a huge Instagram following. The reason that this is so lucrative and so awesome is because it completely changes the game for the little guy, people that are just trying to get out of the gate. Because imagine giving one of these advertising spaces or listings or whatever you want to call it. We have a lot of people in our community calling them different things, whatever you want to market it as. Imagine just giving it to a business in your area and letting them know that they have this advertisement space on this huge thing that is already working with hundreds of other businesses. They don't know that you just added them there, right? I mean, when they come at it, they land on the page, there's a huge perception of perceived value. Perceived value is like the main angle that we're using here to start those conversations and generate value. So we don't need massive amounts of traffic. We just need one business to know that they have this listing advertisement on our site. And how do we turn them into a paying customer? How do we start with a small ask and turn it into a big ask? A lot of people, they come out of the gate trying to sell something for $2,000, $3,000, $5,000. Well, we didn't really have any success doing that, and the reason was because we were new, we didn't have a portfolio, we weren't Tony Robbins, we didn't have a lot of authority, and so what we found to be more successful, and the reason that we have the second fastest growing company in Hawaii with only 50 paying subscription clients, by the way, that 1.6 million that we generated is from 50 customers, only 50. And Tom and I, we greatly value the fact that we're able to take 50 people from a small number and slowly grow them to paying us thousands and thousands of dollars because we don't have to deal with thousands of customers to make millions of dollars. It's a pretty difficult process. No hate on anybody that is doing that, but to deal with thousands of customers, it's a whole nother business model. So for us, we want to make the most amount that we can from the smallest number of customers. And the way that we do that is we start with a small ask, maybe free, and we get them to pay us more and more over time. And this is the initial entry point into our business. And it allows us to be somebody in the community, somebody in our area. And it's exciting to talk about rather than, if you're sending out cold emails about other stuff, you just look like everybody else. And so I know I did say quite a bit there, but I know Tom's going to get into the details of all that stuff and really kind of show you guys how we're using it to make actual money. But I did see a lot of questions that people were getting excited, so I didn't want to leave them kind of hanging there.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point. And one of the things that I want to point out to you guys, and this is like really, like when I say that we're not like when we flip the whole directory site thing on our head, this is what I mean by that, because almost everyone, when you talk about a directory site, has that same question: how do I get traffic? Well, the thing we asked ourselves was, well, how can we just skip that part? Like, how could we use a directory site and totally skip having to get traffic and still generate revenue from it and get clients from it? And the answer was surprisingly easy, because while most people are building a directory site and then trying to get traffic to it, we just set up a directory site in a day, and then we just start adding businesses to it. And then we let the high-level automations notify those businesses that they have a listing. So think about this. In a traditional directory model, a person has to get traffic. You're counting on somebody to land on your site and then sign up for a listing and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's a lot of stuff you have no control over, really. In our model, you just skip all that. All you do is add the business, and then the business gets this email: hey, you have a free listing. And they go, they check it out. The site looks awesome. It looks active. They're like, oh man, this thing is free. Yeah, I'll claim my listing. So like, we just skip the traffic entirely. And then once we have them engaged in that way, now we can start talking to them about other things we do and stuff like that. Because one of the sponsors of HawaiiThrive.com is Mania Marketing. So think of this from a small business owner's point of view. They've get this free listing on a directory on this community resource site in Hawaii. Then they get an email. They're like, oh, this looks good. They claim their listing. And then we send them an email that says, hey, by the way, since you claimed your listing, as a bonus, one of our sponsors, Mania Marketing, wants to give you a free strategy session. These are normally $600. Here's a link. Go sign up now. Like, now we're coming in as a referred provider, not as a cold lead. I see Paulson shaking his head. Like, yeah. That's kind of like like when you really grasp that and see it in action, it's like a kind of moment, because it's like, wait a minute. Like, everybody knows a warm referral is the best referral you can get. When someone comes to you and they say, if someone comes to me and they say, hey, I need help with marketing, and they say, look, I go to somebody and I say, I need help with marketing, and they tell me, oh, my buddy Nick Ponte, he's a marketing whiz. Like, I'm going to listen to that person. Well, we're using the directory site, HawaiiThrive.com, to be that warm referral for us at the agency. So it is really a game changer. And again, I know everybody else thinks, well, how do I get traffic? We thought, well, why? Why even get traffic? Like, I don't even think you need it. And you know what? We have proven that you don't. Because when you set up a site like this and you start adding businesses and they start getting notified, these are the kinds of things that can happen, right? You can see there's Lars up in the upper left-hand corner. He got 47 yes replies. So that's 47 yeses just from letting people know that they had a free listing, and he sold a premium upgrade package. And I'm going to talk about those packages and the psychology behind them and all that stuff too. Here's Terrence. He had a $1,200 win. You can see Paul. This is a $1,500 win, but it's also recurring revenue in there. It's $1,000 a month plus a $500 setup fee. So that's really like a $12,500 win. You can see Chris got 4 listings for a local roofing company. Shishan, who actually is on our team, she was like, I want to set up a directory site. She's in Jamaica. She set up a directory site and she got her first win selling a premium listing, doing that on the side. Paul, by the way, lives overseas and targets clients in the US. So he never meets any of his clients face to face, right? So if you're on this call right now and you are outside the US and you're looking to get business inside the US, a site like this can be a real game changer because no longer are you an outsider. Now you're coming to them from a location inside where they're at, right? Like you're not this person overseas, you're the person running that. I think his site is in Nebraska, right? So he's got like this Nebraska Thrive site and he's overseas, but prospecting to people in Nebraska. So that is really the power of this. And I would just have you ask yourself, if you were a small business, who would you rather hear from? Would you rather hear from the marketing and sales person, or would you rather hear from somebody out there supporting small businesses like yours? I mean, let me know in the chat, right? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, right, Paulson?
Absolutely. A couple of observations. I've been just kind of a bit too quiet and just absorbing. A couple of things that's standing out to me here is one, it doesn't force you to throw your personal branding out there out the gate, right? You have a neutral site that is more of a community resource, and you don't have to like put your face on everything and say, yes, I can do business with you. Here's what I have. Instead, this becomes like a neutral ground, right? And it reminds me of like the business model of blogging and food sites where like food reviewers will come into a city and they have like an Instagram account and they take over the whole city by being the authority of food reviews, right? And it's in reverse, you guys are providing essentially a site where everybody can come to and say, okay, this is a great business to go to, or this is a place that I can purchase from. And it just shows all the businesses in one place. So as more businesses jump into the site, it naturally builds SEO and naturally builds traffic and organic presence on a resource like this.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, you know, I say like, look, we did all this without worrying about traffic in the beginning. Like our site gets traffic now. Like we get a lot of traffic now. We've never done SEO. We've never run paid ads to it. We did it all just by this kind of guerrilla marketing approach of just adding businesses, reaching out and building it from there. Maybe making a few posts in some local Facebook groups, but mainly just adding the businesses, which is the process I'm going to show you guys in a minute and how that works. You can actually even get this thing going before your site is even live. So when we were first doing this, we didn't have a directory site built yet, right? So I was like, but we needed clients now, right? We're like, we need cash flow now, but we don't want to wait to get this directory site built. So we put together what we call our pre-launch client attraction kit. And so here's what we did, Paulson. We I just started sending emails out to people saying, look, we are in the process of building a community resource site right here in Hawaii. Your business has a free listing on it. Would you mind verifying that this is the correct information for your business? Just hit reply. If I need to change anything, let me know it's good. Or if I need to change anything, hit reply. And the people who, like, you would not believe, first, we were getting crazy open rates, over 80% open rates on those emails. Because of HighLevel, we were able to pull in all of this custom business info into the emails. So they were very, very personalized to the business they were going to. And then when people responded yes, we had them in a follow-up sequence, right? And I'll talk about that in a second. But this is actually what all of you are going to get in the snapshot for coming to this 2-day workshop, absolutely for free. It's our pre-launch client capture checklist. Yeah. Okay, so
and just real quick, sorry, I don't mean to
go ahead.
You. So I want to make sure people understand the QR code that you might have scanned or you might have seen as part of the screen. So that QR code allows you to go sign up for a trial in case if you're not on a HighLevel account just yet. So you do have to have a HighLevel account to use a snapshot, just so you're aware. And that trial also gets affiliated to Tom and Nick, so they'll support you further and kind of help you stabilize and provide additional resources if they choose to do so. But just so you're aware, the QR code is not going to go straight to the snapshot and just provide a Google Drive link with everything in it. It's going to ask you to sign up for a trial. If you already have a trial, no worries. We'll provide the snapshot links to you because you have a HighLevel account already, and you can just drop it and enable it, just so you're aware. I just wanted to clarify that on the QR code confusion, if there is any.
Yeah. Thanks, Paulson. I appreciate that. And yes, Michelle, you can upload in bulk. I saw a lot of questions about the directory. We'll do some Q&A at the end, and you guys can ask me all questions about that. But I know a lot of the things I'm seeing here, we have good there. So awesome. So yeah, when you get the snapshot, when you sign up, you get the snapshot. We're going to give you this pre-launch prospecting method. You get there's a funnel, there's the workflows, all those kinds of things in there, so that you could start getting traction with this right away while you're getting your directory site set up. And this is, this is a super powerful little give here, because with this simple coming soon funnel, you can start building buzz right away, right? It's got pre-built prospecting workflow, automated emails, done for you premium upgrade workflow. I'm going to talk about all these things here in a minute. It's got a workflow that automatically handles form submissions, sends a confirmation email, and triggers your premium upgrade workflow. Plus, there's a script guide with phone, direct messages, and in-person scripts. And I'm also going to show you on this training today how to use AI to build an infinite number of lead lists, so that you can just start loading leads in and getting traction, right? And when I say this client capture system pre-launch thing works, look at this. This is Diane. She recently used this process. She sold 5 premium upgrade packages at $150 each before her site.
And the crazy thing is, that's not even the focus. Like that,
Right.
that's selling these listings is not the main focus. It's just, that's how you're getting in the conversation, so you can sell $500 or $1,000 or $10,000 packages. This is just you're getting paid to have a foot in the door.
Yeah, this is just the start. And tomorrow I'm going to go in how we take this start and turn it into those high-paying clients that are paying us, 4 or 5. We have clients that are paying us over $10,000 a month at the agency, right? Even more than that. Most of them started as lower ticket clients paying us $1,000 or $1,500 a month. So I'm going to show you all that stuff tomorrow. But let's get into kind of the nitty gritty of building the list. Would you guys like to see how to use AI to build a list, so that you
give us some comments? Yeah, let's see the comments.
Let me know.
And also, what do you guys think about what we've shared so far? Can you give us some feedback and give Tom some feedback? Because, I know he's been working hard on putting these slides together. Let him know how he's doing.
Yeah,
we're going to go through questions too, you guys. We know you have questions. We're going to make sure to drop as much value as we can in the question section too.
We'll do a Q&A towards the end of the call. We've got another 30 minutes left, so we'll spend about 10 to 15 minutes on Q&A, because we have tomorrow as well, just so you're aware.
Can I say something else real quick, Paulson? Because you mentioned about like people signing up, getting the snapshot, and getting the trial to HighLevel. So obviously, if you're an existing HighLevel member, no sweat, you already can grab the snapshot. But anybody who hasn't joined HighLevel yet, this is a great opportunity for you. Diane, is using this model, and she's already sold 5 memberships. The site's not even built yet. And I say that because if you're thinking about HighLevel and you haven't joined yet, what Tom and I have come to understand, and it's because we've actually been using HighLevel for almost 5 years now, 4 or 5 years. And we slowly started integrating it into the agency. And about a year and a half ago, we couldn't figure out how to get all of our clients into the ecosystem. About a year and a half ago, we figured it out. Now everybody's in the ecosystem. And after we did that, we were like, oh my gosh, this is it. And we have started talking in our community about how HighLevel, if you're not using HighLevel and you're somebody who is a person that's trying to make money online, start an agency, and you're not using HighLevel, at this point, you're literally making the decision to make your life so much more difficult than it needs to be. It is a requirement for somebody that is looking to start getting some subscription income clients. It literally is a requirement. So when we talk about it in our community and everything, we just assume everybody has it, because if you don't have it, it's such a small fee. It's like if you're a landscaper, you need a lawnmower, you need a weed whacker. There's no question about it. You're not going to get some scissors out and you're going to go cut the grass. No, if you are going to make, an agency or an online business and get some subscription paying clients, at a minimal, you need HighLevel. So, we're hoping that this can inspire you to give you that next step to join HighLevel. Plenty enough time to get your first client following this method to get it to pay for itself, which will be, our goal, obviously, for this entire training. But I think it's important that everybody knows that.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. We were just in Sydney, Australia earlier this week with our Sasspreneur Live event. And my first time meeting a ton of Australians that been part of this community for like 4 or 5 years plus, first ever event. And it was so incredible to see how a community of people after 4 or 5 years we're just looking forward to meeting a lot of us. Like, it was just like we felt so cool that we can just land and we had like a family of people just like waiting to receive us in a sense, right? And the ultimate thing about this community that I'll tell you is that you're not going to see a lot of flashy stuff, and that's okay. That's not the mindset of this community.
It's
it
better.
is it is it's even better, which is collaborative. It's like, if you talk to I don't want to mention any names, but if you see people in different communities, they are trying to prove themselves, right? They're like talking about, oh, I'm doing 5 million, I'm doing 50 million, I'm doing 100 million. And it's about this like status of this revenue pillar. But there are people in our community that are doing well over 100 million, and they drive a little Honda Accord, and I promise you no one cares. And that's the culture of our group. It's a group of, professionals and people with just humility. And it starts with the leadership at HighLevel, in my opinion, right? If you ever spend time with Sean, Robin, and Varun, I mean, they have that just innately in them. That's just the way they function, and you see that in leadership across the board. So if you're on the fence, I would say, what you're not changing, you're choosing. Okay, what you're not
That's
changing,
deep.
you're choosing. So let me get off my kumbaya moment here. Let's get back to business. But I'm a huge fan of the community and the family of people that we have, even more than the software. Software will come and go tomorrow, 2 years from now. This whole thing may look different. AI is here. Like we are excited for what that's gonna be looking like. But at the end of the day, the relationships that you build with each other is what's gonna outlast technology, and I promise you that. Um, Anyways, before I start crying, let's go back to Tom.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really, really great stuff. And Nick is right. HighLevel is an absolute necessity when you're trying to do any of this stuff before. Sometimes I think, how do we get along without it? Like it was a lot of work before, but it makes it super easy. And let's dive into how we're using it to help. So, Paulson, do you mind throwing my screen back up there?
Oh yeah. Let me just make sure. You should be able to just click screen again.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, and one thing I would mention here too, like, Diane, she sold 5 of these before her site was live, but once her site went live, she upped the price to $250 per year. And I think they had one day where she sold like 15 of these in one day. Like, that's crazy, right? 15 at $250. I mean, that's like a $4,000 a day, right? Just doing the premium upgrades, which again, as Paulson pointed out, isn't even the point of all this. Like, it's just the start and the beginning. But to get that process going, the first thing you have to do is you have to build a list of leads. And I know a lot of people struggle with finding good leads. There are a gazillion lead tools out there, right? And if you have a lead tool, if you're already using a lead tool, that's really awesome. We use the HighLevel prospecting tool a lot to do like the reports and dive deep into the leads and things like that. And I can talk about that in a minute. But usually we want to build a list in bulk, which is a little easier to do using AI if you don't have a lead tool. Now, if you have some kind of lead tool that you're using, you can absolutely use that to build a list and get this going. But here's the process that we did. And I think if you guys check out Nick's YouTube channel, I think he actually did a video on this where he showed a couple different things. I'm just going to cover a couple of the AI tools here. But this is the AI prompt that we use to build a lead list. And when you get the snapshot, we are also going to provide a link, Paulson, to a PDF. So we have a PDF with all the scripts and everything that we'll be covering over the next couple of days, and this prompt as well. But you can just take a screenshot of this right now if you want. This is the exact prompt that you'll want to put in. And I ran a couple of, I ran this through a couple of different AI tools. So first, I just used Gemini. Gemini, completely free. I do not have a paid Gemini account. I just posted that prompt into Gemini with home services was what I wanted to target here. Gemini asked me a few questions. Now, I will say this with Gemini. It's free. Yes, it does take a while for it to do this. So it did take a while. You can see I had to come back and be like, how's it going? Are you done yet? But eventually, Gemini did spit out this list that you can see.
The price is right.
Yeah, I mean, it's free, right? Like it's time, but it's free.
Well, there's no excuse for anybody that's like brand new, just getting started. There's no excuse. You can just use Gemini. It's free. What I like about Gemini, though, is that it's Google's tool. So if Google's tool is going out there and it's putting the list together for you, I mean, it's probably pretty good information. And if you've tried other tools out there that maybe go ahead and scrape Google, they got to cross-reference and do other things. So it's nice to kind of go directly to the source.
Yeah, and look, if you have Manus, so here's the same thing. I just ran through.
Your screen is off, Tom.
Oh, there. It just took a minute for it to pop up. I ran the same thing through Manus. Now Manus did it a lot faster, and I think if you're still not in Manus for some reason, I think Nick, you have a video on how to get an invite to that too on your YouTube channel. But I ran this the same thing. It did it a lot faster, and it also popped it out in a nice CSV format for me that I could upload as well. So I'll show you guys that real quick. This is the CSV that it popped out. So once we have this lead list, right, then we can really start using the magic of HighLevel and get this thing going. So I'm going to go back to my presentation here. I'm going to make this big, and there we go.
Somebody said, can client reviews be included in the directory site? How does that work? The review feature is there. Each listing has their review feature on it. So we'll get into that.
Yeah, they can add them on the directory, or you can pull them in from Google. So once we have our lead list, this is what we want to do, okay? This is what we call our free listing method. And here's where the power of HighLevel really comes in. So here's what happens. We pull this list of leads of businesses, right? We drop them into our HighLevel contacts. Now, once we have a business in our HighLevel contacts, we're going to send them through this workflow automatically that's going to let them know that they have a free listing. And I'm going to go through the email that they get and all that stuff. But I do want to show you this real quick. Let me go back to this tab. Here we go. So once I have a lead list inside of my HighLevel account, I just did a standard HighLevel bulk import of leads, right? If I want to add any of these businesses to my directory, all I have to do is select the ones that I want. And I click this little add tag button at the top, and I just select this business tag. And now when I give this an action name and I click add tabs, so I'm just going to say new businesses, new biz. We'll just do this. So, and I click add tags. These businesses now instantly have listings on my directory site. And you can see now they say business beside them. So if I go back, they now have a free listing. So once I import my leads, I can just select whichever ones I want, give them that business tag. boom, now they all have listings on my directory site instantly, and they start to get this email. So I'm going to run through this email for you as well. So let me go back to this. All right, so you guys see my thing here. They instantly get this email, right? And again, HighLevel is personalizing all this from their contact in the
Tom,
system.
I think you're showing your presenter screen.
Oh, wrong one. Hold on.
So we usually make this joke, Paulson, that Tom is not a technical wizard.
I am
And
like the
a
least.
lot of people ask, on our trainings, like, well, what if I'm not a techie person? Can I be successful with this? We always use Tom as the example.
Yes, I'm living proof. I am living proof.
I lean on the Tom side on that as well.
But that's when we were. So full disclosure, everybody, we have been doing directory marketing for 6-7 years now, right, Tom? And we had built out a couple of versions of this tool already a long time ago. We used WordPress. We had a WordPress theme, and it was great. It worked really well, but we were duct taping everything together, right? We were building the list. How do we add the forms to the site? How do we send the emails? What else can we do to, offer value? We didn't have a CRM. So everything was duct taped together. And once we really got the agency going on HighLevel, we're like, oh, wow, if we can make this in the HighLevel ecosystem to where, like Tom's showing you guys, you build a list, you upload it into the contacts, the automations shake it all up, and it gives away the free listings that are already built into the HighLevel software. And you can also continue to give little bits of value to the people that say yes. You can give them websites, you can give them funnels, you can give them review blasts, you can do lots of cool things. It really is that missing piece to unlock, who can pay you and get them into that HighLevel ecosystem. And so, having it all there makes it easier for the people that don't speak tech as their first language, we'll say.
Yeah, and also one thing I see people commenting and asking, hey, should we niche down the way Tom and Nick has done? What I'll tell you is, I've had the privilege of working with at least 20,000 agency owners one-on-one. And I'll tell you now, do not niche down too early. Like most people make the mistake of niching down. Like I had a agency that was fully niche down in dental. My second agency was automotive. And I can tell you the beginning stages is very difficult. What I mean by that is like 0 to 5, 0 to 10 is extremely difficult. So don't make it so hard on yourself by pinning yourself and saying, oh, I'm going to make a directory site just for all the dental practices in the city. Like that doesn't make a lot of sense. What you want to do is focus on the local presence as a whole and just open it up wide and see who you would love working with. You might find out that working with a mom and pop shop with like what are the things the kids go to after school, code academy, right? Or a martial arts, or like you might find like a flower shop to be the most exciting thing on planet earth, and you might have pinned yourself too early. So I'm a big fan of not niching down too early, but eventually at some point, if you want to scale fast, pick maybe 2 or 3 lanes and you just go all in on 2 or 3 of those lanes. Maybe you have a whole plethora of resources and scalability for dental, maybe flower shops, maybe automotive. Like choose that focus a little bit later once you've kind of ironed out and developed a voice in the market, developed your offer better, developed funds for advertising, developed a team behind you that can scale with you. So I don't know if Nick, you and Tom share the same consensus on that, but when it comes to these local stuff, I want to go local. I don't want to say we only talk to dentists that are in Dallas.
Totally.
Man,
we
Paulson,
totally agree. People are always they're like, well, I have to niche down. We don't. We let the niche find us. If I'm selling, if I'm new and I'm like, oh, I'm in the tree removal niche, and a dentist contacts me and I'm like, nope, can't do it. You're a dentist, sir. I only work with tree removal people. No way. allow you to pay me and learn as much as I can and work like hell to give you the best service I possibly can. And then, you know, you're going to get the next person, the next person, next person. The niche that kind of found Tom and I is travel and vacation and home services. Those are the main two that we have. And when I say it found us, I say that because we just kept figuring out what we could do for people. We kept trying to reach out to people. We kept doing, you know, things to generate activity like you're seeing with our model here. And the people that kept responding to that in our area were those industries. So, you know, depending on your area, this method allows you to become an authority in your area. Yes, you can allow it to, because if somebody goes to your site and they see that you're, you know, we'll just use ours, for example, Hawaii Thrive. And we've added a list of 100 businesses on the site. But the site is brand new, but there's 100 businesses there. If somebody goes to that site because we send them an email and we're like, hey, go check it out. You have a advertisement or a listing on our site, and they go there, they're going to have that perceived value that you're already working with all these other businesses, or you have some established grassroots in the area. And that's what changes for you. You're not now, you know, Joe, who has nothing going on, no portfolio, no profile. You know, you have this established credibility there, and you just did it by setting this up. You know, you didn't do it because you have hundreds of customers, but that'll allow you to find your industry a little easier too in your area. So go local for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Paulson, every time I hear some like agency guru spout off the you should niche down advice, I think, oh, like, God, not when you're new. Like, try a bunch of different stuff. Like, now I will say this: when you're doing outreach and marketing, if you're not using a directory to do it, then you should be tailoring your marketing to their specific business type. Like, before we did directories, when we reached out to dentists, we talked about how we help dentists. When we reach out to home services, we talk about how we help home services. So we talk specifically when we're reaching out to specific types of businesses, but the agency as a whole is general. And the directory really gives you a great way to approach all businesses, you know, that you want and talk just to them. So this email that you guys see here, this is the notification email somebody gets when we add them to the business. So everything you see highlighted in yellow is what HighLevel auto populates based off their contact field. So imagine this business owner, they get this email that says, hey, look, your business is now listed here. Can go claim it, make sure all the information is correct. These emails get a crazy, crazy open rate. Like, look at this. You can see we had a very small list here. We uploaded 423 contacts. Do you see that? And 334 people opened the email. 28 clicks. That's an 82% open rate. Like, that is unheard of for cold email, right? And it's because this is so customized and it's not a sales pitch. Again, we're giving them something free. This practically changed our business at the agency overnight. You can see these are all the people that were listening. It's like, yeah, here, I want this in. Here's my listing. Are you going to be adding Makawa businesses anytime soon? Like people actually, like, instead of us chasing them, they started just having conversations and responding to us and wanting to be involved in what we were doing because they loved the community aspect, right? And this is what really allowed us to build a huge list of interested businesses. And we use no cold calling. We use no paid ads. You can see this is a snapshot from inside the Mania Marketing HighLevel account, over 7,000 businesses. And these are not cold leads, right? They have all raised their hand and said they're interested in what we have to offer. These leads are hot, right? And again, we did this with no paid ads or cold calling, only the free listing method that I just showed you. And once we put those leads through the free listing workflow, then we could run them through our premium package workflow. So this automation basically acknowledges their free listing and then makes them an offer to upgrade to a premium listing. And you can kind of see how this process plays out in what I like to call the wild, the real world. Here's somebody we emailed, they took the free offer, they asked us about the upgrade, then they purchased the upgrade. And you can see here's a screenshot of where we had emailed around 1,000 leads that we'd put into our HighLevel account. 97 of those people took the free offer. 16 of them upgraded to the premium, and 13 had already paid their invoices when I took this screenshot. And this all happened with HighLevel automations. We did not actually talk to any of these people. So this is the power of this process. But again, this is the tip of the spear. This is just barely cracking the surface. Tomorrow, I'm going to show you how we take people that do these various things. Like, well, if we give somebody a listing and they don't respond, what do we do? If we give somebody a listing and they claim it, what do we do? But they don't take the premium. If somebody comes in and they claim it and they take the premium, what do we do? Like, how do we get them into these higher ticket AI subscription services that we can use HighLevel to fulfill and really build a significant business for ourselves? Those are all the things I'm going to cover tomorrow and give you a little deeper dive into how we use Smart Directory AI to do that and all that stuff as well. So this is a little preview of what we're going to do tomorrow. So make sure you tune in for that. I think with that, Paulson, we can do some question and answers.
And for sure. Let's do a quick Q&A. If you don't mind, can we spend maybe 10 minutes doing Q&A? I know we want to end right at 12:30 here, but may go extra for a few extra minutes here.
Yeah.
Let me also bring Cameron back into the mix. I know Cameron, let me just make sure your camera is on. Let's see here. Sweet. Okay. Thanks for your patience as well. And let's go ahead and have the screen share and disabled. All right, cool. So I'm looking at the comments here. What I want to do is be very efficient in our Q&A. We're going to rapid fire. We're only one of you answer one question. Like, we don't have to take a question and go answer it 4 times, just essentially. Yeah, like get ready.
Pull a hammy.
Okay, cool. And then as you're putting the questions down, I want you to type in Q, letter Q, hyphen, and then the question. So I know it's a question for now, and it wasn't something that you asked 30 minutes ago, or it's just like maybe you're just commenting or contributing to the conversation. So let's see. Ryan B. Taylor. Hey, Ryan. Hope you're doing well. Ryan says, do you offer the snapshot for the full directory site concept? So can you just share light on the snapshot that's being provided as part of the 2-day workshop?
So the snapshot that you'll get today is actually our pre-launch, client capture snapshot. So this is basically a series of automations and a funnel that you can use to set up to start getting traction before you built your directory site, right? So the directory site is much more complicated because it's tech, right? Like, we have a dashboard, we manage. It's not a snapshot. It's an actual. I like to call it a HighLevel extension. It's an extension to your HighLevel account that you pop in there. So it's not a snapshot, but the snapshot you get today has all the things you need to start getting some traction, getting some yeses, walking people to the process while you're getting a directory site set up. And by the way, you don't have to use our directory site, right? Like, if you already have a directory site or there's other people that use, I mean, the reason we use ours is just because it's quick to set up and it works inside of HighLevel. No other one does that, but you can follow any of the strategies and things that we teach today. Will work with any type of directory site that you're using.
Sweet. Andrew Gardner. Hey, Andrew. Hope you're doing well. Andrew's asking, what is the benefit for the business owner as opposed to their free Google My Business profile listing? Or does it work similar?
No, great question. Great question. So I saw somebody else also asking a question about, do they get a place where they can see stats and results of the directory site? And I want to talk about this because this goes in with what the value to the business, the question that Andrew asked. Again, if you're thinking that the person is that a brand new directory site that you set up is going to somehow magically have a bunch of traffic to deliver results to the businesses you put on it, that just, I hate to burst your bubble, but that just ain't going to happen. All right. Like, it's a new business. Like, every new business has to grow. So here's how we build the value to get people to do what I've been showing you today. Number one is, we're upfront and honest. We tell them This is new. We just set this up. We're just getting this going. Only a jerk would then be like, oh yeah, well, how much traffic do you get? Like, well, you just told them it's new. Like, you just be like, well, I just told you, we're just setting this up. We're just getting going. Number two, we lead with value by just starting with the free listing. We don't come in guns a-blazing like, hey, sign up for our directory, pay us $500 a month. Like, if you do that, of course, they're going to ask, what kind of results am I going to get? But if you come in with just a simple look, you have a free listing. Here it is. And then the premium listings, which I'm going to get into more detail about this tomorrow. But the way we build the value there is by adding in things that are not tied directly to the directory. What do I mean by that? Well, in our premium package upgrade, I don't even like to call it a premium listing because, yes, they get all the advanced listing features like the optimized description, the extra images, all the business hours and things. But we also add on additional stuff like an online visibility report. And guess where we get that from, Paulson? The HighLevel prospecting tool, right? So, hey, this is a $99 value that you're going to get when you upgrade to this premium package. We also offer to do a 30-second video for them. And we just use a simple Canva template that we plug their info in. That's a $299 value to them. Here's a 30-second promo video for you. We could offer to give them social posts. We'll include 30 days of social posts when you upgrade to the premium package. We use the HighLevel social planner to do that. Now, the listing features are really secondary. Like, now the person's looking at this and they're going, well, wait, so I get this online visibility report. I get a video for my business. I get some social posts. Maybe we send them blog posts they can use. Like, we can really stack the value here to make it $600-700 in real world value. And we offer it to them for $99 for the year. Like, the video is worth $99. The online report is worth $99, right? Like, so when the person gets that, they're not thinking like, oh, what kind of results am I going to get? They're going, look at all this stuff I'm getting for $99. Like, whether the directory works or doesn't, they're getting a deal, right? And so that's how we stack the value in. And then when the person says like, yeah, I'm going to take that, then we use that to sell them the additional services. So tomorrow I'm going to cover a couple strategies we have for that. One is our courtesy call strategy. It's like the easiest. I don't even want to call. I hate even calling it a sales call, Paulson, because it's not. But it's like the easiest call you'll ever make. And then we also have a thing called an activation call, which these are two ways that we get our additional services in there. But when you add the value on like that, that's how we're doing it. That's how Diane is getting $250 for a year premium package, because she's including an online visibility report. She's creating a 30-second video for them. She said that the video thing is like, businesses don't know where to start to get videos. They really value it. You can do social, all those things, right? So we stack the value that way.
Makes total sense. And this is kind of a repeat question in my books, or from what I understand. Subrata is asking, on surface, it looks very attractive. However, are you saying businesses are not asking why they should pay for these types of directories when free listing with reviews is available like GVP, Yelp, and so many others with existing reviews? Isn't the proliferation of reviews happening and going to lose value when one solo marketers start to adopt this method? Well, I can answer that. Well, we're starting with free, and I wouldn't care much about what all the other agencies owners are doing. The key is to make sure you have a neutral resource that you're leaning with, and that's where I think this whole directory type of a local site makes a lot of sense. Do you want to add something to that, Nick or Tom or Cameron?
Yeah, I can add something to that. So one, a business wants as many listings as they can get, right? Are there any SEO people on here? Finding highly relevant, targeted local links is very, very difficult, right? A local community resource website is a link that's valuable to SEO people, even if it's not getting a lot of traffic, right? So one, these are in addition to, not in place of. Like, we're not trying to be the next Yelp. We're not trying to beat Google. Like, we're not trying to do any of that, right? Like, we're using this as a, I love the term that my father-in-law used, a sneak attack, to start conversations and get going, right? Because if you're out there just trying to reach out to businesses on your own, you're in for kind of a rude awakening. It is very difficult to get people to just talk to you, right? They're like the person walking down the street, you know, when you walk into the store and you see the salesperson coming and you're like, I'm just gonna go this way, and they're like, that's what cold outreach is like, unless you're doing something like this, which now you're coming in again, it's a whole different conversation. We're not somebody trying to sell something. We're somebody supporting local businesses in the community. People get behind that. I mean, Nick, because of Hawaii Thrive, Nick just got asked to do a live presentation at a big tech event on Maui that he did a few weeks ago, because people just see us as authorities, right? Like, not as the people doing this. And I know one time, it's really funny, he was at a some kind of fundraiser thing, and he was like sitting with, was it the mayor or the governor, Nick? The mayor of Maui, and he's like, oh, I run Hawaii. And that, think about how this sounds when you're sitting around professional people. What do you do? Oh, I do marketing. Or what do you do? Oh, I run a community resource site that uplifts all local businesses in Hawaii. Like, I mean, that's impressive. And when he said, I run Hawaii Thrive, this lady at the table was like, oh my gosh, I get your emails. I love your stuff. Like, you know, and that's right in front of the mayor. So, you know, you mentioned earlier about, you know, being like the restaurant review the places reviews. I've always said, like, we use this to sell agency services and high-level subscription services, right? But somebody could really become a little local celebrity in their area. Like, you could really become the business champion in your area, because you could do business spotlights. You could set up a high-level community and association with your directory site, funnel people into your high-level community, do little live business spotlights inside that community every Saturday, focus people on the site. You could even go out, find like an English teacher at one of your local schools, offer to pay them, you know, $30, $40 an article, and let them go around and write articles about different things in your community and publish them on your site. You could do movie reviews, restaurant reviews. Like, you really could build up this awesome little like ecosystem, and it's all built around that, right? And then you can funnel that stuff off any other way you want. You can say, hey, look, one of our sponsors, which is Mania Marketing, is doing this stuff. Why don't you take a crack at that? So it really is, again, just a non-salesy approach. It is a sneak attack, right? And before you know it, you're just ingrained in what they're doing.
I love it. So I know we went over about 7-8 minutes here. We wanted to end at 12:30, but I appreciate y'all's patience. So Nick and Tom, if you don't mind, give us a 30-second overview of what we're going to cover tomorrow. And I know tons and tons of questions are coming in. If you don't mind going back in the streaming and answering some of those at a free time or leisure time, I know here at High Level we'll definitely would appreciate that from you. But what does tomorrow look like in general, day 2?
Yeah, so tomorrow I'm going to show you how to use the directory to sell all the high-level AI subscription services that you want, right? So if you've been struggling to sell your high-level services, I'm going to show you how we use this to do that pretty freaking easily. I'm going to show you how we use it to sell higher ticket marketing services. We have, you know, clients at the agency paying us over $10,000 a month. I'll show you how we did that. Plus, I'm going to show you how you can just get started with this as quickly as possible. So like Nick said, we've been doing this directory approach for a while. And so we have been down every rugged road, tried to climb every mountain. We have hit every brick wall that you could possibly do. So tomorrow, when we wrap up the session, I'll give you the big key things to watch out for and how you can just get going and start using this right away. So lots of good stuff tomorrow. You guys aren't going to want to miss it.
Can I have a 30-second, Aaron?
Of course.
Okay. So you guys, Tom shared a bunch of stats about the emails. the open rates, right? How do we get the 50% open rate? How do we get people to say yes to a free or a small $49 offer or $27 offer? Through email, through cold email. The way that we do that is we come at it from this model. So for everybody here who has tried to do cold email and make it work, maybe you can put a 1 in the chat. Have you tried cold email before? Have you tried to make it work? Have you maybe not had the success that you thought or you had hoped you wish you would had? Well, the way that we get those open rates, the way that we get people to buy those little offers without ever speaking to them, by uploading a list in a HighLevel, dropping them into the automation, is by pairing it with this offer on our directory site for these businesses in their local area. And so we're going to talk more about all that tomorrow. But if you're one of those that is struggling to make cold email work, we also pair this with appointment setters over the phone, SDAR reps. You can have a voice AI rep help you with this too. We're going to talk about that. There's a lot of exciting things that you can pair with this. And this is really, again, the missing piece to start to pair all those amazing things that we all love HighLevel for. We just have wondered how to connect it all. And this is the connection, you guys. So I hope you guys show up to tomorrow. I would really love to see even more of an attendance tomorrow. A lot of people came today, which is great. But tell your friends, right? Tell your friends to come tomorrow. We're going to talk more. We're going to show you how to get your next customer.
Yeah, and also tomorrow we'll go into the operations a little bit. So I know Cameron probably will share a lot more today. He was rather observant in the conversations, but I will make sure we go into the operations and kind of understand what the onboarding looks like, what does the delivery looks like, what is a whole the exciting component for the clients look like before you can upsell them. But either way, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, 12 o'clock Eastern. That's New York time for those of you that are worldwide. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.